Hello, just wanted to go quickly over the gear I used making this video. Like you saw me, I put the video where I used the one exalt weapon, like basically that's socketed with 3 runes, and you don't really need giga weapons for the build. The total cost of my gear is in the range of 50 to 60 divines. Most of that is ingenuity, Howa gloves, and the gain extra damage as lightning jewel that I use. None of these are necessary. Like you drop any of those and build is going to be fine because of the mechanics of the build. More freeze build up on the permafrost bolts and glaciation on your Herald of Thunder. Basically you use fork and ricochet on your main links. Like you don't need a 6th link. I use mobility for 6th link. It's just more speed. If you can't afford, just put this 5 link. You also don't need 6th link on the Herald of Thunder. I put cold penetration, which is useless, and conduction, which is nice, but it's not necessary. Like 5 link on both of your heralds on main skill. Even this doesn't need a 6th link. Like rising tempest not that great, heft not that great, you know, just need fresh clip, punk effect, elemental focus, and you're fine. So basically freeze build up. You want to stack as many hits as fast as possible on enemies. So permafrost bolts with its more freeze build up, forks and then chains off terrain, of the walls, of the stalagmites and stuff like that. Basically hits enemies multiple times. Triggers Herald of the Thunder by shocking them, by having flat lightning damage. Like if you don't have hands of wisdom in action, just use gloves with high lightning damage. Use rings with high lightning damage. And yeah, that's it. You stack many hits on enemies, like you shock them, you freeze them, and that's it. You trigger both heralds, they hit a lot of times, they trigger more freeze buildup, and basically freeze everything on the screen. And freeze is a very potent layer of survivability in this game. Like you don't have many options. I didn't want to make a evasion ES build and use Green Fist and shit like that, because it's gonna get nerfed. It's 100% gonna get nerfed. I wanted to play a build that I can play in 1 month if I want to, and when the game releases and when they balance it, like builds like this with 2.5 to 3k life are going to be the norm. And you use acrobatics on this character when you get at least like 65 to 70% evasion. You're gonna need a decent chest and decent helmet for that. You wanna take all these good nodes here and before you spec into acrobatics, right? When I talk about these nodes here, I don't like them because they're conditional. Like most people take them in conjunction together to cancel out the effects, so basically you turn them into 70% increased evasion, but you see how many points you spend for this. It's not worth the points. Just get these nodes here and that's gonna be fine. Maybe get some on your jewels. Ideal jewels like some chance to shock, movement speed, evasion rating. You don't need penetration, but there was nothing better to buy. I looked not to spend more than 1 divine, maybe 2 divine per my jewels. I didn't want to make them too expensive. Like you want chance to shock, to proc your shocks more often. It's very important. You want movement speed, you want evasion, whatever damage mode you can get. I have some reload speed, but it's completely unnecessary. You can drop all this reload speed. I don't take any on my tree, and the reason for that is because I have a decent amount of attack speed, and having reload speed on the tree would bring me for like 0.4 to 0.35 reload, and you don't even feel it. Like anything that's less than half a second is fine. Like you do not need any reload speed, I repeat, on your jewels or on your tree. Like focus on more damage nodes, focus on like herald damage, elemental damage, attack damage. Those should be your priority. Like avoid projectile damage because it doesn't work for heralds. You can get 1% mana on kill jewel, but it's not necessary. I just take it because it's a bit smoother, because I sometimes use shock burst rounds. What did I press? Why did I press editing? I sometimes use shock burst rounds, but they eat kind of a ton of mana. As you can see, they eat like 1/3 of your mana. So I want some mana on kill, because if I had to use shock burst rounds on, I don't know, a corruption boss or omniphobia or Kosis or something like that, I want to get that mana back. But it's a luxury. Like you want it if it's jewels already good. You don't want to aim for it. Like I found this jewel that had shock chance, some cold penetration, elemental damage, and it had mana on kill, so I got it. But it's not something that you need to spend too much money on, because another upside of Permafrost balls is doesn't use much mana, and you don't want plus projectile skills on your main clear weapon, because it does nothing for your health damage. So yeah, I showcased in one of my videos that you don't even need heralds for clear. So if they nerf the damage in half, it's still gonna be good. Your clear is not gonna be absolutely trash, because you saw me using a 1 exalt crossbow, you saw me using no heralds in videos that showed, then the build is gonna be fine if they nerf the heralds. The build is gonna be fine if they nerf the Hava, and you're just gonna be doing a bit less damage, but it's going to be totally viable, totally good. Like right now you have overkill damage, as you can see. I didn't even use shock burst round on any of my videos. That's how much damage you have, and you're still almost one-shotting rare monsters in this very tanky map. 24% delirious, sometimes 36, depends on the map I run. And that's basically it. So important nodes: freeze build-up, some shock duration, because when you fight a map boss you want the shock to last like 10 seconds instead of 4, so you take some shock duration nodes here. And for anoint I chose the extra cold damage and more freeze build-up. But before you can afford like this, because I think it costs like 100 something exalts, cheap option to anoint, I think this nodes is good. Onboard forces, gives you some shock duration, magnitude of shock. It uses like disgust enemy guild. I think they're like 30x combined, so maybe anoint this. Maybe you don't even bother anointing before you can afford the extra cold damage and freeze build-up. Reason for that is freeze build-up, you want to get it as wherever you can. It's incredibly potent stat. If it had more nodes in vicinity that are efficient to take, I would take them. Like, it's very incredibly potent stat. Like, and these nodes also came with stun build-up, so it's even more CC, and it's kind of great. So yeah, this is the excuse me, this is the core of your tree. Like these weapon swap nodes, basically you put whatever you want in them. I took some more movement speed here, some more damage, but these are the main ones you want. Ignore these clusters, like this is all trash. Like all these crossbow nodes, they're absolutely trash. You don't need the reload. Chance 15% chance not to consume bolt for 4 points is trash. Reload speed wasted. This is also something you not use. You only use it once per map. Not worth taking. Like, just ignore them. Much better to do anything else than that, honestly. So yeah, order of priority, how you purchase items. First you get Hava. You aim to get at least 200 int through your gear. As you can see, once I got enough dexterity from gear, I swapped all my passive points to intelligence. Just get as much as you can. I don't really have that much. Like, this is not some Hava abusing build. I have 270. This is very achievable. As you can see, I don't have int on this ring. I have someone here, some here. I have some attributes that allow me to turn the int on my passive tree, but that's it. So priority is ingenuity, definitely, because even with this trash 2 divine rings, ingenuity makes them insane. Like, this gives you some cold damage, so evasion, life rarity, int, stats, resistances, makes capping your resistances. I'm even overcapped on pretty much everything. Ingenuity makes capping your resistances like nothing. Like, it's honestly so easy. After that, get as good chest and helmet with at least combined 2000 evasion. Like, work on capping or close to capping your chaos resistance. then invest into a jewel like this. Basically that's it. So Hava ingenuity, and don't worry about your weapons. Just get something for like 40-50 exalts that you can. Make sure that you have at least 2 additional bolts on your weapon. This one has 3 because of the implicit, but it's not necessary. You can use a dyad crossbow with 1 additional bolt, or regular with 2 additional bolts. It's fine. Like you can honestly, like, if you have a Hava at least 200 intelligence, you can use this weapon. To clear the maps, you don't need anything else. You can use Rampart Raptor. Like, that's it. That's all the damage you need, basically. So yeah, thanks for listening, and I hope you like the build, and I hope you try out the Permafrost bolts, because it's way better than Galvanic Shards. Honestly, Galvanic Shards sucks. I will add a video where I clear with Galvanic Shards, and you will see how much worse it is when you're not freezing rare monsters, how much more in danger you are, and just how better playing with Permafrost bolts in the maps is. Bye.